I often hear you calling to one another, and when I'm alone over here,
Hello, ma'am. It's raining so hard. I brought rubbers and coat to fetch my little girl home.
I'm afraid you've made some...
Welcome to Hollywood Secrets. Today, we're revealing some of the strangest stars from old Hollywood who had bizarre habits that will leave you shocked. These stars weren't just known for their talent, but for their eccentric, sometimes baffling behaviors. Let's dive into the world of old Hollywood's weirdest celebrities. Olive Thomas. Olive Thomas, one of the original flappers and silent film stars, had a playful yet strange habit of carrying around a collection of Lucky Charms, ranging from rabbit's feet to trinkets she'd pick up during her travels. She believed these charms held mystical powers, ensuring her success on screen. Thomas was also known to have a superstition about mirrors, often covering them in her dressing room to avoid bad luck. Lan Cheney. Lan Cheney, Hollywood's man of 1,000 faces, had a strange obsession with makeup and transforming his appearance, even when not on set. He would often experiment with extreme makeup effects at home, sometimes wearing his terrifying creations around town just to see how people would react. His fascination with creating the most grotesque and otherworldly characters often spilled into his personal life, where friends and colleagues were unsure if they were meeting the real Cheney or one of his many alter egos. Buster Keaton. Known for his deadpan expression and incredible stunts, Buster Keaton also had a weird obsession with gadgets and mechanical devices. Keaton loved inventing strange contraptions for his home, some of which served no real purpose other than to amuse himself. He had elaborate Rube Goldberg-style devices set up in his house for simple tasks like pouring a glass of water. His fascination with engineering and mechanics often bled into his films, making him both a comedic genius and an eccentric inventor. Clara Bow. Clara Bow, the ultimate girl of the silent era, had a surprising and peculiar habit: she collected toy soldiers. Bow was known to obsess over her collection of miniature soldiers, often rearranging them for hours on end. She believed they brought her peace and allowed her to cope with the pressures of fame. Despite her glamorous image, Bow's quiet time spent with her soldiers was one of her most bizarre quirks. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn, the swashbuckling star of adventure films, had a secret passion for the paranormal. Flynn would regularly hold seances and attempt to communicate with the dead, believing he had a special connection to the spirit world. He even claimed to have seen ghosts on multiple occasions and would often share these experiences with his skeptical friends. His fascination with the supernatural was well known in Hollywood, adding to his larger-than-life reputation. Barbara Lamar. Barbara Lamar, known as the girl who is too beautiful, had a habit of staying up for days at a time without sleep. Lamar believed that she had too much to accomplish to waste time sleeping and would go on marathon working sessions, whether filming or writing. Her friends and co-stars often worried about her health, as she would drink copious amounts of coffee and even use stimulants to keep herself going. This bizarre behavior eventually took a toll on her body, contributing to her untimely death at just 29. Harry Houdini. Though not primarily known as a movie star, Harry Houdini, the famous illusionist, also had a brief Hollywood career, and his obsession with debunking fake spiritualists became an eccentric hobby. Houdini would attend seances in disguise, exposing fraudulent mediums by revealing their tricks. He took great pride in proving that these spiritualists were charlatans, and his crusade against the supernatural was an odd pastime that consumed much of his personal life. Rudolph Valentino. Heartthrob Rudolph Valentino had a strange addiction to his pet falcons. Valentino would often travel with his birds, keeping them in his dressing rooms and even at home, where he trained them to perform tricks. His love for falconry was so intense that he would sometimes take breaks from filming just to spend time with his beloved birds. Valentino's fascination with these majestic creatures added a mysterious and eccentric edge to his image as a romantic idol. Feda Bar. Known for her exotic and mysterious on-screen persona, Feda Bar embraced her off-screen eccentricity by decorating her home with macabre items, including skulls, shrunken heads, and Egyptian relics. She was fascinated by ancient civilizations and occult symbols, which she believed held mystical powers. Barra's home became a reflection of her strange interests, and she would often invite guests over to show off her bizarre collection of artifacts, leaving many feeling both intrigued and unsettled. Raymond Griffith. Silent film star Raymond Griffith had a bizarre, reclusive habit. He would go for days without speaking to anyone, not because of his role in silent films, but out of personal preference. Griffith was famously quiet in his personal life, often writing notes or using gestures to communicate, even though he was perfectly capable of speaking. His friends found this odd behavior puzzling, but Griffith believed that silence allowed him to observe the world more closely, fueling his creativity on screen. These stars weren't just Hollywood legends, they were also some of the strangest personalities to ever grace the industry. Their bizarre habits and eccentric lifestyles remind us that even the brightest stars had their quirks. Which of these old Hollywood oddballs surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below.